All right, so today for my CAP assignment, we have an English 4 lesson for the high school placement I'm in. This would be a senior class with about 10 students. This is for SED 366, and this lesson is flashbacks in literature. So, what is a flashback? A flashback is a narrative device that interrupts the chronological order of a story to insert a scene or event from the past. Flashbacks are used to provide context about a character's past and can enrich the narrative about a character. Flashbacks can reveal a character's motives and show a character's background. So, flashbacks are often used in different forms of literature like novels or movies to show a past event of a character that might be causing them to make some decisions, or maybe a past traumatic event, or just past experience that the character is really impacted to in the current story. Some of the popular flashbacks in literature are placed on this screen, and we're first starting off with Carl and Ellie in Up. So, Up is a Pixar movie that is highly known because of this flashback specifically. So, in this flashback, it shows one of the main characters, Carl, and his past story with his wife Ellie, and how they got married, how they were when they were younger, and also the tragic passing away of Ellie, and how that impacted Carl and how he acted in the current story. Another example of a flashback would be Gatsby and Daisy's past relationship in the book The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. In this novel that is highly known in high schools because it is often read, the author writes about Gatsby and how he first came to know Daisy, and also just the past things that happened between the two and the reasoning behind Gatsby and his interest in Daisy and the things that he does in the story. Another example of this would be the memory orbs and Inside Out. So these are one of the main points of the movie because it follows the five emotions of anger, joy, sadness, fear, and disgust, and also Riley, the main character, which these emotions are inside of the brain of her. And the memory orbs are things that correlate to the five emotions and just some different memories from the character. These can be things like her first hockey goal, taking her first steps, or maybe trying broccoli for the first time. These flashbacks are shown often throughout the movie, and all the events correlate to how Riley is in the current story. The last example is one of my personal favorites. It comes in Forrest Gump, in the life of Forrest. So throughout the movie, we see Forrest sitting at a park bench and talking to several people about his life. Things such as the military, his relationship with the love interest, and his love for ping pong are shown through the movie as Forrest is telling people these things. So those are just four of my personal favorite flashbacks and some of the most popular, but there's so many more in many different types of literature. So now we have, would this be considered a flashback? This was just a short story that I wrote, and I was just going to ask, would this be considered a flashback? So Marcus was a 35-year-old man who worked in an Amazon warehouse. He enjoyed watching sports and going to the movie theater. One Friday when Marcus went to the movie theater, he saw a girl that he once knew. When he saw her, he felt all types of emotions, and that is when he remembered. It was one fall night in September. Marcus was waiting for the bus when a girl next to him asked where he was off to. Marcus told her how he was returning home after seeing a movie that night. The girl expressed to him how she was also seeing a movie that night. The two instantly connected on their interest in movies. This was the start of Marcus's first love story that did not end like he intended. Marcus took a deep breath, put his head down, and quickly headed to his theater in the movie. Amber would always be the one that got away. Would this story be considered a flashback? The answer is yes. This would be considered a flashback because in the first paragraph, it is the current day where Marcus is going to the theater, and then it takes a pause and shows a past event of Marcus's story and why he feels the way he does towards Amber. And then the story picks up again with Marcus and him reacting to how he felt from the flashback. So this would be a flashback. So now I have another story that I wrote about Layla and her high school experience. So Paige and Layla and their high school experiences. Paige was not excited for school today. It was the first day of her high school experience. She was nervous about many things. Who would be in her classes? Who would she sit with at lunch? Are her teachers going to like her? All these thoughts circulated Paige's head. She was so nervous her mom was asking her many questions about her first day. Her mom was expressing how she could not believe Paige was already in high school. She said she remembered when she was a baby. Paige ate her pancakes and eggs and got onto the bus. She had no idea where to sit until her friend Layla waved to her excitedly. Paige sat next to Layla and found out they were in the same English class and the same lunch period. Layla was also nervous. The two talked about their nerves and Paige felt a lot better. She knew that high school was nerve-wracking, but she had her mom and Layla by her side. Would this story be considered a flashback? The answer would be no. It can cause some confusion when it says that her mom said she remembered when she was a baby, but however, the story does not take a halt and go back to specific events. This is just her mom expressing how time has flown. Final thoughts. Flashbacks can lead to some of the best storytelling in literature. Authors utilize flashbacks to help further a story and draw the readers even more interest. Next time you read a book, watch a movie, or interact with any type of literature, be sure to look out for flashback. So that would be my lesson on flashbacks in English 4. The objective would obviously be for students to learn about what a flashback is and how to identify a flashback. And this again would be for a senior class in my high school placement.